Hey darlings, Danetha here, creator of Money and Mimosas. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing the money message from this April's new moon. So for those that are new to my moon messages, welcome. If you have tuned in before, welcome back. For those that are new, I am a writer, so I receive my messages through the written word, meaning I won't know what the message is without writing it down. I don't know actually what I'll be writing until it comes through. And this is why I'm referring to my journal, because the messages came through my writing, and I'm going to be reading that for us. And if you see smoke around me, it's the incense. Yes, so let's get started. April's money theme was reimagining what's possible. If you missed that video, I'll link it down below, or if you want a refresher, definitely check that out. This month has been all about tapping into our third eye chakra, tapping into our intuition, connecting with the universal mind in order to reimagine what's possible, to find new opportunities, to create new possibilities, a heavy emphasis on creation and using our unique gifts to imagine a new way of being, in fact, an elevated way of being. And I'll link that video if you want to dig deeper into that. That was the month of April's overall money message. And then the full moon for April was about restoration and truly creating space for this new elevated way of being to exist. In order for us to elevate our way of being, we have to let go of some of our old patterns, behaviors, attitudes, habits, and that's what the full moon was all about. And if you missed that message, I'll link that as well if you want a refresher. This new moon is in alignment with all of those messages. Of course it is, because the earth and the universe, and however you refer to those beings, if you will, they're always in alignment. So of course that makes sense. It's just so miraculous that they always are. I don't know about you, I just get excited every time it's clear that it's in alignment there. So anyway, the new moon is in alignment with all those messages. What really came through for me in my writing was that this new moon is about setting boundaries, reclaiming our personal power. So for many of us, we are in a true state of imagination, what I call the imagination station, where we are in a place of creativity and getting excited about new possibilities and new ways of being, realizing part of the full moon's message was that we realized a lot of what we considered normal was in fact unhealthy in our personal lives and collectively as a world, as a global community. And with the full moon, we looked at those things that were unhealthy and started to remove them. And this new moon is about how we have taken that information from the full moon, removing those things that we've realized were not in our best interests, not supporting our well-being. And we're in a state of imagining what's possible, recreating possibilities, creating new possibilities. And we are in an empowered state, however, a vulnerable state at the same time, meaning that you may have miraculously come across new ideas for what you want to be pursuing in your life. And I use miraculously because it truly is a miracle to have that shift in perception. I believe that's a quote from Marianne Williamson, that a miracle is merely a shift in perception, a shift in the way that we see something. And I believe that moment is the miracle, and what comes after that is icing on the cake. So you may have already, you are having those miraculous moments where you're connecting the dots, you're seeing what's possible for yourself. And that's a very empowered state to be in, to know that you are the creator of your reality. At the same time, it's a vulnerable state. It's like a new plant, a new flower that you have to be tender with in the beginning and really nurture it because of external forces that can harm it. And in our case, those external forces are other people's way of thinking, way of being, their attitudes, their habits, their inability to see beyond the external reality. And those people can be those that are super close to you. So it can be challenging to shield or to protect your state of childlike wonder and awe and imagination. And so this new moon is addressing that vulnerability. And what came through to me was for all of us to focus on our personal power, particularly on our boundaries. And our personal power lies, a lot of that lies in our sacral chakra, which is the yellow chakra. It's our third chakra. And our personal power includes self-confidence, self-discipline, self-esteem. It also includes boundaries, setting personal boundaries, which is in alignment with self-respect. And it makes perfect sense that this is what's coming through, because for April, we're focused on our third eye chakra, which opens us to new possibilities, new way of being, elevated experiences. Now we're in a state of, still in this third eye chakra, focus on, purples is a color related to the third eye chakra. So focus on that color. At the same time, we're being called to also restore, heal, cleanse our sacral chakra. And I'm pointing to my stomach here because this is where it's held, the sacral chakra, the third chakra, the yellow chakra. This is where our self-respect lies. And this is our ability to place personal boundaries. And it makes sense because when you're in this state of being very open to ideas, you're going to be faced with other thoughts, other attitudes, other habits that try to tear that down. Not necessarily out of ill intention. These can be people that are close to you and they really want you to experience the best in life. They really want the best for you. At the same time, because they don't have your vision, they aren't able to support you in the way that you need to be supported. And our sacral chakra, when it's cleansed and healthy and strengthened, it allows us to practice ways of self-respect and personal boundaries. It makes perfect sense that this is coming through now because we have all of these new ideas, new ways of being. We have to protect ourselves from external forces that can detract us from that can instill doubt in those ideas. Also, it's a foreshadowing for May as well. The theme for May is about creating, it's all in alignment. It's all in connection. I won't go too far into that because I want us to stay focused on April's new moon. So April's new moon, personal boundaries, sacral chakra. I really see this as building our immune defenses. The word immunity came up in my writing. And immunity, as opposed to placing walls up between you and other people, it's really about building your immune defenses and building your strength, your resilience. And for some of us, that will mean distancing ourselves from others. Of course, all of us, most of us, are practicing safe distancing depending upon where you live and the regulations around that. For the most part, all of us are practicing that. So it's less about physical distancing, but it could be about limiting the amount of calls, Zoom calls you have with this person, or regular calls you have with these people. It could be limiting the dialogue, the back and forth about ideas. If you've come to a realization that there are certain people in your life that, you know, just have a different view, have a different path, they're on a different wavelength, it may be time to distance yourself. This message came through very clearly during the full moon, and it's coming up again. So I feel like this is just a message all of us need to sit with and truly be proactive and take action on, because it's come through twice. And it's really for our higher good. We are being opens to new ways of being, elevated ways of being, and this message is about our higher self and protecting those dreams and allowing those dreams to actually come to fruition. And sometimes that means shielding them from those that can't see that vision. So practically speaking, it could mean limiting the Zoom calls you have, limiting the back and forth texts that you have with these individuals or this particular individual that may come up for you. It could mean having a direct conversation with the individual, although that's not coming through very strongly for me, but you'll have to assess for your own situation if that's what this means. But for me, it's for what I'm feeling and what I'm sensing. It's more about just distancing yourself. It's not about it's not about explaining yourself. It's just about slowly stepping back and keeping the door open. Doesn't mean that the relationship has to fade away completely. It doesn't mean that it'll pick up again in the future. Just for now, protecting yourself from that different way of thinking and being that just isn't in alignment with your path. Doesn't make the other person wrong. It doesn't make you better. It's just you're on different wavelengths at this moment. What also came through was limiting obligatory interactions. So you may be wondering, do I have these people in my life? Do I have this person in my life that I need to practice personal boundaries with? If you're on the fence about that, or you're unsure about it, check in with your feelings whenever you engage with this person. Does it feel like an obligation? Do you feel energized? If you feel energized, then I would imagine that's not the person that you need to practice these personal boundaries with. They're in fact feeding your soul, and vice versa. The issue becomes when you feel drained, or you feel like it's an obligation, or you leave the conversation and you feel just like a weight on your shoulders. You don't feel uplifted. Check in with yourself and use that as your guide for navigating these personal boundaries. As I mentioned, this is the sacral chakra that we're focusing on. Of course, as I mentioned, April's main theme is the third eye chakra, and during this new moon, so for the next few days, under this energy, we're being called to cleanse our sacral chakra in support of our third eye chakra. And the sacral chakra is about personal power, and boundaries plays a huge part in that. Personal power also is our ability to set and achieve goals. This is very much about money, and you are having revelations and new ideas about new ways of earning money, of growing your wealth, of building your wealth. Possibly it's about doing things that you actually love doing and making money doing that. If you were already doing that, now it's about elevating that to another level. Either way, your sacral chakra is in support of your third eye chakra. All of our chakras are in support of each other. Right now, the sacral chakra we're focusing on to support our third eye chakra. And the sacral chakra is all about being able to set and achieve goals. This is the chakra that gives us our self-esteem, our self-confidence, our motivation, our willpower to get things done, our energy, our vitality. This is the chakra that's allowing those dreams, that imagination that you have been practicing this month to be able to come from your mind's eye into the 3D world, into the physical world. Ways that you can cleanse, strengthen the sacral chakra: you can do dancing, you can do a lot of core work. That's part of the reason why I'm wearing a crop top right now, to emphasize the core. So your core work, meaning ab workouts, anything that strengthens this area so that you sit upright and you feel supported, that is your sacral chakra. So you can do that through physical movements such as dance, core work. Do what makes you feel good. You certainly don't stress yourself out in doing exercises that feel strenuous and don't feel good to the body. Do something that feels good. For some of us, this can be through our sexuality as well. If you're with a partner, speaking up more about what you want in the bedroom. If you are wonderfully single, it's about pleasing yourself and tuning into what turns you on. This can also be for those that are in partnership too, learning what turns you on. That can be by yourself as well. So those are different ways that you can strengthen the sacral chakra, and also include a link to moneymimosas.com, where I give more examples of how to strengthen the sacral chakra. But those three are really great: dancing, core work, ab work, and then your sexuality as well. This is, in addition to that, for those that have been working with their ancestors. So I haven't spoken about ancestor work in previous videos, but I feel good speaking about it now. I work with my ancestors, and if that's something that you're open to and have been doing, the recommendation is connecting with your ancestral shrine and sharing or gifting your ancestors with ash. So ash is power, and gifting your ancestors with ash so that they have the power they need to do the work behind the scenes on your behalf. And when you give ash, you always give it with your left hand. That might look like my right hand to you, but left hand. And it may look like my right hand because of the video, but I'm holding it my left hand. And when you gift ash to your ancestors, you always want to give it with your left hand and thank them for all the work that they do, and ask them for guidance, ask them for strength during this time. The last point about this new moon is all of this work is helping us to discern what we actually want. One of the hardest questions for any of us to answer is, what do I actually want? And when you're clear on what you want, you will magnetize those desires and magnetize and attract that into your life. By focusing on your personal power with the energy of this new moon, you are going to become more clear about what you actually want. For some of you, this time of reimagining what's possible has brought in a lot of different ideas. Some of them have been conflicting with each other. Some of them have been kind of murky, unclear, and you may be in a state of overwhelm with all of the options that could be available to you, or all the different directions that you could possibly pursue. And tuning into your sacral chakra over these next few days with the support of this new moon energy will help you get clear on what it is you actually want so that you can start taking steps towards that, because otherwise many of us fall into the habit of being paralyzed. You may be in a state of analysis paralysis, thinking through all the options that are available, all the different paths you can take, and feeling as if you can't take any steps, because what if you took this path, but then that means you couldn't take this other path? Or if you did take this path, perhaps this XYZ could come up, and that would be disastrous in your minds. And so thinking through all those things in our heads, you can be paralyzed. So these next few days is helping you become really clear on what you want, and also discern between the people in your life that just aren't healthy. Let's just be honest. Some people in your life are not meant to be in your life. I remember hearing a phrase once saying, some people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Sometimes all three. And it's okay if those people that are unhealthy were only there for a reason or for a season. They don't have to be there for the whole lifetime. And keeping them there is going to detract from your abundance. It will detract from your riches. Again, my focus is on money, earthly riches. All of the messages that I'm sharing with you is about helping you become more abundant when it comes to money. And of course, that applies to all areas of your life because they're all connected. My focus is on money. So these messages around being discerning of the people in your life is about them detracting from your ability to live the abundant life that you are so worthy of. So that is the message for this new moon. If this resonated with you, I would love to hear your comments down below. If you'd like more money tips, you can find me over at moneymimosas.com. I would love to hear from you. Have a beautiful new moon. Bye, darlings.